Hey guys, welcome to a new video. I know you guys see the title. You might be a little confused, might be a little interested. I'm making this video, which is actually not the common, I guess you could say, sentiment that a lot of people hold towards Redbubble right now. Guys, I think Redbubble is actually improving. I think it's getting better. And I think it's noticeable, actually. The reason why I'm making this video is, over the last few months, Redbubble has been hit really, really hard with a lot of negative content. Not to mention, most of the negative content they kind of deserve. No offense. The reason why is because they started charging people on their accounts. Like you guys know, the tier fees and things like that. And it's not all accounts by any means, but it's a lot. It's a lot of accounts. Regardless, I'm not here to make a video on specifically that. That's not my point of interest. But I actually see a lot of noticeable things that Redbubble is actually improving on. And I think by the time next year comes, 2024, Redbubble, especially like halfway into 2024, Redbubble is going to become a much better platform. So let's go ahead and first iron some things out. In 2022, Redbubble had like something like 30-something million designs, like 32 million. If we go ahead and check now, it has, let's see here, let's let it load, 33 million.9. It's not that there was like 1.2 million designs that were just added in the last year. In fact, over 20-something million designs were added in the last year, believe it or not. What happened was Redbubble actually started deleting a lot of garbage on the platform. Unfortunately, a lot of good people had to go with that too. You know, a lot of good accounts were deleted as well, but a lot of bad ones were too. Accounts were deleted. When accounts get deleted, so do all the art on the accounts get deleted as well. And that was one of the first things that happened. Now, that's not necessarily better, but what it does is immediately creates less competition for you. You're literally going back in time right now to do this. Somebody pointed out in another video that Redbubble lost traffic. It could be because of that. Now, Redbubble's still the top dog. Don't get it confused. Outside of merch by Amazon, Redbubble's bringing in the most traffic, right, for print on demand right now. So let's be clear on that. The next thing that I've noticed, and this is actually the important thing, is, and this is not something that I've noticed recently, but this has been happening, where new accounts created are required to be verified. Not all, but they're required to be verified by phone number, okay? This has been something that is not directly new. This is not something that happened like last week. It's actually been a few months, and more accounts are going through this now. This is actually a good thing. The reason why this is a good thing is because, let's face it, there's so many accounts, right, that try out the platform for a day or a week or whatever it might be, steal somebody else's designs, right? Before they can even get into that, some of them, not all, but some, have to verify with phone number. That's valuable. That's important. It definitely adds some, I guess you could say, some importance to the platform, right? You got to think from a worldwide perspective, not just from the USA, right? That you're getting people from all around the world uploading to this platform. A lot of people are uploading, no offense, garbage, things that are pixelated, don't fit right on the product, all kinds of different things. And Redbubble is actually doing these monthly assessments on your account, or even quarterly. I wouldn't say monthly, but more quarterly. And they're not going to just let you know when they're doing an assessment. They're doing it behind the scenes. They're not doing it on a daily basis, right? They're doing it behind the scenes. They're looking at your account and they're assessing it. They're seeing your tags. They're seeing your designs. They're seeing your titles. They're seeing these things, right? And unfortunately, some people's accounts have to go. I'm not sitting here saying that's a good thing, by the way, right? But if you're somebody who's an honest, hardworking person on Redbubble, there's a chance, unfortunately, this is unfortunate, that your accounts could be deleted. Why? It potentially could be from your older works, right? Your older works, maybe you were less educated in Redbubble. Maybe you spam tagged. Maybe you used things that you shouldn't have used. Maybe you took art that you shouldn't have took, right? And especially if your account has hundreds of designs, thousands of designs even, it's very, very, very possible that can happen to you. So if you're watching this video right now, don't worry. Just go back into your old designs and do some review. Even if you have to take a week with no uploading, go back into your old work, do some review, do some studying, see where you're going wrong, see where you're going right, right? If there's some stuff that you don't fully own, let's be honest, there are times we've all been there where we uploaded some designs we probably shouldn't have. Maybe they belong to somebody else, maybe they, whatever the case may be. We take that as a learning lesson, delete the design, delete the tags that you shouldn't have been using, and move forward before you lose the whole damn account, right? So that's clear. I'm clear about that. Let's go ahead and continue now for another aspect, and this is what I've noticed, and this is probably one of the best things that's actually going on now. I have noticed a new tagging system within Redbubble, and this actually is very good for all the people who have followed my tagging course. If you guys have followed, and I'm not trying to sell it right now, but look, check this out. autopilotpassiveincome.com, the Redbubble tag course, okay? This course right here was based on SEO. It was based on tagging. It was based on picking the right titles, picking the right tags for your designs, and more importantly over everything that was mentioned in the course, and you guys could see all the lessons, and I actually have to add to this list because we added more videos. If you've watched the course, then you have an understanding of how the algorithm actually works. You have an understanding of what keywords to pick and why not you shouldn't pick certain keywords, and actually how they could hurt you. Well, guess what? Redbubble is now doing shadow banning. Very, very, very similar to TeePublic's lightweight shadow ban system. What do I mean by lightweight shadow ban system? What do I mean? I'll describe what I mean. If you go to teepublic.com, you click on certain designs, you look in the tags. Some tags are blue and some tags are gray. If the tag that is gray is popular, meaning there's a plentiful amount of designs for that tag, and the key and the design has the tag but it's gray, that tag is not going to be systematized in the indexation. Essentially, when it's being searched, it's not going to show up for that tag. You can think of this as a light shadow ban, or maybe even a shadow block, if you will, right? Maybe not ban, because ban, really, the definition is something more permanent. Whatever, let's not get into the semantics. You guys get my point. The design doesn't show up. I've been noticing that here with Redbubble as well, right? So imagine if I upload a shark design, and I add different shark-type keywords that are related. I use the Redbubble Rocket Tagger. Shout out to the Redbubble Rocket Tagger, by far my favorite tool for Redbubble tagging. Probably has made me over $30,000 in the last year. But anyways, if I'm putting the right tags, right, I have a better chance to rank because how those tags are connected. I've spoken about this in the course, so I'm not going to speak about it here, and I'm not trying to be, a jerk. I'm just being honest. I spoke about it in the course. I'm not going to talk about it here, right? So there are certain ways tags are connected from an algorithmic standpoint. If let's just say I throw in a word like the word goat with all these different shark-based tags that are highly related together, which I explained how they're related in the course and everything like that, what happens is instantly now my design gets deranked. First of all, it's not going to show up for the keyword goat. At least that's not 100% true. Shadow banning is slowly being added to Redbubble. That's what I've been noticing. This is my point. This is my whole point, and this is the most important point in the video, is that I've been seeing more often than not that certain designs with certain stores, not all stores, but certain stores, and maybe they're testing this with a few test accounts, maybe 20% of the whole entire Redbubble population, who knows, right? You guys could even try testing this on your stores, that your design does not actually show up in the uploaded newest section, right? If you want to upload a design and you want to see it in the marketplace, you just go to the newest, search for that specific tag, and hopefully you find your design. Well, if you don't find your design for that specific tag, well, you have like a soft shadow ban in a way. It doesn't show up. And I'm not saying this happens to everybody. Like I said, right now, this is 2023, July 23rd, and I'm seeing that this is happening more than once. Actually, it's happened a significant amount of times. And this is actually very, very similar to TeePublic's system. When you look at TeePublic, even though TeePublic is a little bit more open about this, and by the way, Redbubble owns TeePublic, so this is really not surprising, but TeePublic, right, if you add certain tags and then you add a tag for what we call from left field, meaning has no relation to all the other tags, you're not going to get ranked for that specific tag, right? It's not going to be clickable for you. Meaning, if I go to TeePublic and I add a bunch of keywords related to shark, let's say shark, ocean, fish, whatever, right? And then I add the word unicycle as a tag, I'm not going to rank for the keyword unicycle. It's going to turn gray. Now, this is something we know. TeePublic's open about this, and they show it on their page, right? And you can actually go in and edit tags. Well, with Redbubble, they're not open about this, maybe just yet. Maybe in the future, they will be open about this. This is a prediction of mine. Whether they end up being open about this or not, this is going to be in full force by 2024, halfway through the year. This is a prediction of mine. Just the same way I predicted that Redbubble and TeePublic are both going to charge users more money via some sort of system, and I was absolutely right. I actually called it. They do. They charge users via their tier fees. And I actually called it. Like I said, I called it a few weeks or a few months before it even happened. And I'm proud of that. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that is one of the many things you have to watch out for. And why should you be happy about this? Well, you should be happy about this because if you're a hardworking tagger, Redbubble doer like me, you are angered sometimes about all the different spammers on the platform, right? You say, well, why do I rank here, especially last year and the year before that? Why would I rank in X position, let's say position 57, while my competitor is spamming, clearly spamming with their tags, clearly going against the rules with their tags and ranking higher? Well, guess what? There's going to be less and less and less of those. And that's a beautiful thing, right? I have no emotions towards individuals who clearly abuse the system and get dropped for it. I have no sadness about that. If you're not following the proper rules, you lose your account. You should lose your account. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that is happening, and that's actually a good thing for us consistent users, for us consistent sellers on the platform, and people who are serious. You guys got to keep in mind, I have uploaded manually over 40,000 designs. Manually. We're not talking about an uploading software. And my virtual assistants have now, and there's 4 of them now, have collectively uploaded over 30,000 designs. And I've started them in Q2, at the end of Q2 in last year. I was supposed to start them by Q3, but I started them in Q2. The training started. With the training, they started working, etc. That's not the point. The point is that I'm putting my money, sweat, effort into this. I'm not going to say blood, sweat, and tears because, let's be honest, nobody's bleeding uploading to Redbubble. But the point is that I'm putting a lot of effort in. I'm putting a lot of juice in to this platform. It's profiting for me because I have a system that works. It just works, right? It's very simple. But this is good. This is good for all sellers. You should be proud of this. You should be happy of this, especially if you have been a seller that has been falsely deleted, falsely banned. You might want to give this platform another chance. I'm not begging you to go try it. I'm just simply saying, if you're interested, go ahead and give it another chance. What I would do, though, before you start is go on a completely different device, clear your cache, don't turn on a VPN just yet. Just go ahead and start brand new, all that kind of stuff. And it might pan out for you. But I will advise you that if you start brand new on Redbubble again, do not, and I mean do not, play with the system. Don't start uploading designs you don't have the rights to. Don't use keywords you don't have the rights to. Don't play those kind of games, because I promise you it will not work. And, there's a better chance than not now that it will not work. Better chance than not, I'm telling you. Because, like I said, Redbubble is actually doing some cracking down, and I've been seeing these things. Let's go ahead and continue another reason why Redbubble is getting better from somebody who's actually in the field, doing Redbubble each and every day. I created an experiment because I noticed something odd, and I actually noticed it by mistake on Redbubble. When I was uploading designs to Redbubble, maybe about 2 weeks and 2 weeks and a half, maybe ago. I created these tags, and I created 2 designs with a certain set of tags. I was creating variations of that design. And that's actually a strategy that I told people to do before. When you make money off of a sale, you go in and you create variations of that specific design. Very important skill. But anyways, when I was copying the tags, I edited it a little bit. And then what I did was I copied the works over and switched out some of the tags. But I realized some of the tags were spelt incorrectly. There was a small gap of time between the designs that I was like copying over and things like that. And what I noticed was when I went back and I changed certain tags and I correctly spelled them, guess what? They didn't rank in the Redbubble algorithm for those specific keywords. Interesting. What that means to me is, first of all, first glance, I went back, edited tags of a design, and now that design does not show up for the new tags. You know what that means? That means that Redbubble is much more serious about the tags that you upload per design. Also, it just generally shows that there's less forgiveness now, right? So let me put things into perspective. If I create a design about sharks, once again, and I spell the word shark S-H-R-K, okay? I'm clearly missing the A, but let's just say S-H-R-K. And I spell a bunch of different other keywords somewhat decently. And then I go ahead and I realize that I did this 15 minutes later, and I went back and I changed the word shark, and I obviously didn't create a shark design. I'm just simply using the keyword as an example. And I fixed the spelling of the keyword. I saved it in the tags, and just as normal, I went to go ahead and check if it was updated and if I ranked. This was completely by mistake. I did not do this on purpose. And I found out that it didn't work. I checked an hour later, wasn't there. I checked 10 minutes later, wasn't there. I checked 15 minutes later, wasn't there. I checked 3 hours later, a day later, 2 days later, still wasn't there. Interesting. So now that the spelling is corrected on the tag, it's still not showing up. What that means to me is very, very important. At the very minimum, clearly there's changes going on in the algorithm, but at the very minimum, Redbubble is much less forgiving. And once again, this is a good thing because there are many people who abuse the system on purpose. Many people. And out of all the different sellers out there, right? 20% make money. 20% out of the whole entire Redbubble system, 20% make money. And we're basing this based on last year and the year before's cohort, okay? Think about out of those 20% who actually make money, who are the ones who are just in their work? Who are the ones who are not spamming? Who are not stealing other people's images? Who are not doing these things? There's probably a lot who are. I could tell you that. And so my point is that this is a good thing. This is not a bad thing. This is a good thing. Even though I had, time to recognize this is a good thing, right? If you try to tag spam your way to the top and you realize that you're not getting there and you just try to go back and be legitimate with your tagging now, nope, no second chances. And this is, once again, I'm going to be clear. I'm setting a disclaimer. Not every single person might experience this right away. I personally experienced it, but my results don't necessarily mean your results will be the exact same. I also then took that idea and I started testing it on certain designs. And indeed, certain designs did not rank, but certain designs did. Which goes to show, for me personally, the only assessment that I can think of this is that this is a test that they're gradually rolling out. They're gradually rolling out. Maybe a certain design that has words that are clearly not spelled correctly is a form of tag spamming. In their actual instructions, if you guys look at the instructions on how to tag properly with Redbubble, even though it doesn't give you that much information, oddly enough, they emphasize something. And we know wording is very important. It's very powerful. Oddly enough, they emphasize making sure the spelling is correct. This is interesting. I only read the directions oddly after I've been experiencing this issue. Now, don't get me wrong. I've read them before, but it didn't really ring a bell as much as now. And then I had a light bulb moment. The light bulb moment was when I made my prediction which I was 100% correct about, and I called it early, about Redbubble charging for tier fees and TeePublic charging. And I said, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if these two companies charged people with the tier fees. Before I made my prediction, Redbubble sent out a letter. They sent out an email. And they said something to the effect they're going to be helping people and they're going to be improving the system. And the way they made it sound is really like, you have to help us so that we can help you kind of thing. And that's where my prediction came into play. They never said anything about money in that email. They never said anything about tier fees. They never said about anything like that to discourage sellers. But the way they made it sound was it was almost cryptic in a way. And that was the video where I made my hypothesis. In fact, the video is on this channel. You can go ahead and check it out. There's so many videos. We literally almost have 1,000 videos on this channel. The point with everything that I'm saying is Redbubble's working behind the scenes to make things done. The same way that they were working behind the scenes to charge people more money with the tier fees, they're working behind the scenes now to save their behinds, and I'll tell you why. The whole point of why tier fees exist is they're existing for people that are uploading spammy content. That's exactly why. Because what is spammy content? It will never sell, just like most other sellers don't sell on Redbubble. It will never sell. It just so happens the people who spam on Redbubble are the poorest ones. They make no money on the damn platform, right? They make no sales. They just constantly upload garbage. They tag incorrectly. They title incorrectly. They're uploading garbage designs, and they expect money. The point with all this is what are they doing to Redbubble when they do this? You might think, well, they're not doing anything. They're costing Redbubble money. And they're costing them a significant amount of money. Server fees are extremely expensive. Extremely, like wildly expensive. You wouldn't even guess how much it costs. But for a company of this size, and I spoke about this before, easily at least $2 million. We're talking about just server fees, especially at the peak with over 50 million plus designs. When you take those designs and you multiply them by the 120 something products that they offer, from shirts to graphic shirts to aprons to whatever the hell they sell. I mean, they sell a ton of stuff, right? Stickers, just a whole bunch of stuff, right? That is a lot, guys. That is insanely a lot. And on top of that, you're working on fees that connect to 100% runtime. Things are being updated behind the scenes. You have dashboards. You have all these kinds of things that are costing money. So what did Redbubble do? Redbubble decided to delete a lot of accounts, and we saw this mass deletion kind of happen within the last, let's say, 6 months. A lot of accounts were being deleted. A lot of accounts. Maybe even more than 6 months. Really more than maybe about 9 months straight of just a ton of accounts being deleted. And hence, what happened with that? When you delete an account usually has, let's say, 20 to 30 designs, maybe less. In fact, actually, the real stats are most sellers who do not make money, the 80% who don't, actually have less than 30 designs. So, of course, there are people who maybe have 300 designs who've never got a sale, but most, we're talking, have less than 30. So somebody could have 10 designs, 20 designs, 25 designs. So let's call it 20 designs. If you're a seller on Redbubble and you had 20 designs, those are 20 designs that are going times 120, because you're putting your design on all these different products. You're putting them on shirts, you're putting them on stickers, you're putting them on hoodies, and then you got different colors of hoodies. So really, it's not just times 100, it's times damn near 10,000 because of the amount of SKUs you have, right? So you have a hoodie, that's not one SKU. You have tens and tens of, maybe 200 SKUs in that one product, because you have 10 different colors, then you have 5 different sizes, right? And then you have different fits. You have different materials. You have all kinds of different things. So you're dealing with thousands of products, right, per design. And all of those designs are going on. They're readily accessible in the server. So when you delete somebody with that many designs, you're saving money as you go. And I told you guys this before. There's only 2 ways a company can make money. There's only 2 ways. Do you guys remember? I made this statement months ago. There's only 2 ways for a company to make money. The first thing they could do is go out and get more sales. The second thing they could do is cut costs. For Redbubble, what's easier, going out and getting more sales or cutting costs? The answer is cutting costs, because going out and getting more sales are really mainly developed only in two ways when it comes down to Redbubble. Either A, spending money, which cannot happen, and B, organic social, not social media, but Google. And this is why I tell you guys heavily, start your own website. I've had countless guides on this website, on this YouTube channel, showing you guys how to do the same thing. But start your own website. That's exactly what these guys do. And if you look at their traffic, over 60% of their traffic comes from organic. This is something I've heavily stressed before. And once again, not shameless plug, but the Redbubble course shows you how to get that organic traffic if you're doing it properly. But anyways, let's go ahead and continue here. All these things come together, give me some light at the end of the tunnel, guys. They show me some light. And the light is that Redbubble is actively making moves to cure their biggest problem right now. And their biggest problem right now is cost. And they've done a tremendous job. You got to look. They used to have over 53 million designs. They're down to 34 million. It's actually going up. At one point, a few months ago, I think it was like at 29 million. So they're going up. They're going to run back eventually into the same problem unless they fix something. And they're trying secondary fixes other than just deleting accounts. They're trying other things. The first thing they did was the fees, right? The tier fees to basically help them cut down on costs, which I'm not really for all the way. I'll be 100% honest. I would much rather have them just charge me like a $5 a month or $10 or $20 a month thing, instead of like taking half of an account sales. So at times, like if I have a small account that's making like, let's say $1,200, I'm paying, I think the max is like $495 that I have to pay with Redbubble account fees. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think that's the number. So if that's the case, I'm losing almost half of my sales revenue off a day like that, off a month like that on an account. But regardless, the point is that they're doing that. They're doing the shadow banning. They're at least from, and when my experience, there's other people going to experience the exact same thing, but there's other people who are not. So when they're slowly rolling out a feature, they're going to do a beta test. They're going to test it with a certain group of people. They're going to have a stats team, an analytics team. They're going to have data analysts, data scientists, and they're going to look at the numbers and they're going to say, okay, does this help us? There's probably a few accountants in the room and saying, hey, we cut X amount of accounts, we did this, we did that. But we know that cutting accounts, deleting accounts is not the only solution, because guess what happens? Anybody in a third world country has more than enough time to sit there and create an account, right? And upload a bunch of designs, and when that account gets deleted, guess what? They're just going to rinse and repeat and do the same thing. And I'm not trying to be racist or anything, pointing out the third world countries, but we find that this typically tends to happen more in those kinds of countries. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in America or things like that, but that's what we typically tend to find, right? That's not the point. The point is that there is this constant images being created. Now, that creates a good and a bad problem for Redbubble because, like I said, the costs are insane. That's number one. And number two, right? If the designs were actually profitable, that would be a different story. Why do you think Redbubble tells you to push so hard on social media and they actually reward you for it, sometimes becoming a featured artist? Which, by the way, I think collectively, I've brought in so many impressions and sales from social media, and never once was I a featured artist on any of my 17 accounts. But hey, it is what it is. Maybe somebody can forward this video to Redbubble. But at the end of the day, like I said, these are my predictions. I do think Redbubble is working behind the scenes to save their behinds because the cost is going crazy. The only solution that they could possibly have, and by the way, for all you people out there thinking that Redbubble is going to go bankrupt and the account is just going to disappear, Redbubble is not, no offense, a stupid company. They're going to sell before they do. They're going to sell the business to a different owner. The different owner is mostly an acquisition company, and that acquisition company is going to run it. They might not even do any edits to the platform. They just might make it sit there until it profits them back and recycle money. So the company's not going anywhere. Your account's not going anywhere, assuming that you don't get banned. but they're making moves, and I could see that they're making moves quietly behind the scenes, and this is a good thing. This is a good thing for a lot of us. Speaking of Redbubble, okay, speaking of the devil himself, I have my YouTube channel, Fantasy Labs. We've just recently uploaded a 3-part series into understanding the Redbubble algorithm. For many of you who don't have, let's just say, the desire to purchase the Redbubble tagging course, if you want to learn about the algorithm, go ahead and check out those 3 videos. If you feel like they helped you, check out the Redbubble SEO tagging algorithm course. Once again, when you learn about tags, you learn about the algorithm, you learn about SEO, you learn about all those kind of things. We have the curriculum, the minimum curriculum, written out here. I think this is like 30 videos. We have more in the course, and we're gonna add more. So if you want it, I'll leave a link in the description. But check out the new channel. The new channel is small. Really, almost nobody knows about it. 177 subscribers. Shout out to every single loyal follower, loyal viewer who's watched the videos. I hope they helped you out. I know damn well they helped you out. And I know they're effective. So part 1 is just kind of getting things started, which is this video. Part 2 and part 3 is where things really ramp up, especially in part 3. But I think you really should start off with part 1, as boring as it may potentially be. Go ahead and watch it because it will really help out, and then part 2, part 3 in order. The channel has 7 videos on there right now, so it's really not that cluttered, so you can go ahead and watch it now. I'll leave a link in the description to the new channel. You could go ahead and check it out. You can go ahead and enjoy the videos. And yeah, hopefully this video was encouraging for all you Redbubble sellers out there. And trust me, guys, trust me. If you're a Redbubble seller, I think things are going to get better. If you're not a Redbubble seller, maybe you've been a Redbubble seller in the past, you've got banned, you got deleted, you might want to give it a second chance. You might want to. I'm seeing things change. They're very evident to me. They might take a little while to make things really, pan out here, but I think they're doing a good job getting the ball rolling, okay? I could tell you that this is definitely better than last year. Last year, things were totally out of whack, okay? Totally out of whack. It seemed like nobody was doing anything about it until, of course, we had a minor depression going on, recession. People started spending less. Redbubble kind of ran into some issues, and now they got to fix what they're doing. So, I'm gonna stay on the. Obviously, I have no other chance. I have no other choice. I have 9 accounts on the thing making money. So you guys know the deal. I'll leave a link in the description to all the resources, whether it be the course or the channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Once again, hopefully this video was encouraging, inspiring, and more importantly, entertaining. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.